Hi, today we are going to see a demo of solution architecture agent, which is nothing but a technical assistant for a solution architect. The idea here is like ask uh, based on like how we have vibe coding and other things. This is more like a vibe architecting, basically asking the model to come up with question and answers that questioners that it can actually we can actually ask the customers to probe and understand the use case better and what the components should be, and then also ask the model to come up with the uh, solution architecture as well, and also explain why these components are and stuff like that. I'm basing it out based on Azure components, especially with PaaS, because we have wanted to build the modern next generation cloud architecture. So assume that I wanted to build a factory intelligence assistant to troubleshoot my production line. This is a simple thing that any customer can do. I'm taking this as a sample example. So I can go and say like, okay, now go send this in. And this basically, we have created a prompt that can go in the back and actually try to decipher this and come up with answering come up with like questions that I can actually answer. This does take a long time. Some of the things that I've always what I go through is like sometimes I forget the process of like, hey, what are the questionnaire that I need to ask and get information from customer. Sometimes there is always a prep time, so we can actually spend a lot of time on understanding and coming up with questions. But most of the time, what I've seen is like it has been hard for me to come up with questions as we're hopping from calls to calls to call. So just in case if there is a call that came in, this is an agentic architecture that is behind the scenes. And then the agent is going through and it is going to come up with asking what are the probing questions that I need to do. um, this is an amazing thing to give a start, and then of course the questionnaire will change as you're talking to the customer and providing as they are providing inputs and outputs, right? So but at least this will give us a good starting point, and then we can go into the solution architecture help, where it goes in, and this is designed in a such a way. Let me put the requirements in. I just took that previous one and I put the requirement in. um, and then what we can do is like based on the solution that the answers that the customer is providing, or if we know the answer itself, we can even ask the model to come up with an answer. And then I'm taking that requirements question and I'm putting it to the model, and the model is going to go through each one of them, and it's going to give us a solution architecture, and it's also going to walk you through what it means and how it is thinking through, right? This is the idea, just to get an idea. Like I'm working on with a logical diagram, but it might also eventually be like an we can use mermaid type diagrams and create diagrams. We can add more features to it. It can actually tell you what are the past services that it's using as an end-to-end application. It's also giving me like why do I need pass. I also added like SWOT analysis just to make sure that hey, it can figure out like what things that I might miss, or it can give me indication on like what I might need to add. I also added like what could be the risk and mitigations that I need to take care of when I'm doing the solution architecture, and also come up with pros and cons to take decisions and stuff like that. And obviously it's giving me the next action follow-up steps, basically saying like hey, after you have this, go talk to the customer, discuss with them and find out what needs to be changed. We can take that take and reprompt reprompt with whatever information the customer is giving and try to create a new architecture. And then if it is needed, we can do an iterative steps, or it could be a single thing and good to go. This is just to help and aid a solution architect. Doesn't mean to replace their job. They still have to as a follow up, they can actually, we can even ask this to create like code snippets and try to do a POC on it. That might be next. But that's what I have so far. Thank you for listening in. I hope you guys had a great demo and have a wonderful day. Thank you.